ESFJs, they have high extroversion, average openness to experiences, very high agreeableness, and some average organization. ESFJs are known as the gossipy neighbor, mother, or co-worker of yours who tries to seem alright but ultimately just has a huge inferiority complex that needs to be compensated for by talking about other people's flaws, in order to actually compensate for the envy that the ESFJ tends to feel towards them. People of this type like to say that they are open to ideas and experiences. But in reality, the only creativity that these people display is in telling lies about others. Furthermore, they are unlikely to like very abstract things, such as needing to think. ESFJs delegate his ability to other people around them. After all, this type constantly needs other people around them to validate their own existence. As a result, ESFJs start to judge all these people as flawed or not as good as them, and because of this constant need for approval, they can confuse not liking other people with having their own opinion, which is not even remotely the same thing. Some strengths of this type are, well, absolutely nothing. I hate ESFJs. But they may have good communication skills and like to please other people. Some weaknesses of the ESFJs is that although they like to please others, this pleasing sometimes comes as a desire to be pleased themselves. As an altruism, that is not so true after all. ESFJs are also very uncomfortable with change and tend to confuse their extroversion and their need to talk more than other people with a desire for novelty. However, from the moment the ESFJ tends to do something new, he easily regrets it, as he discovers that he only tried something new to prove to people something that he normally does not tend to be. The dominant function, or the way ESFJ sees the world, is through extroverted feeling function, FE, which seeks to identify what is ethical, what is good, what is socially right, and define this as an universal truth that everyone should follow. This function also gives the ESFJ their incredible social skills by always caring about what other people around them value. The FE dominant monologue is, I will make those around me feel comfortable and happy in a cohesive way by identifying what we are all connected to. As an auxiliary function, SI, or introverted sensing, manifests as a preference to trust what has already been tested and proven rather than dealing with things that are not yet here or have no reference in the physical or plane of things. It is focusing more on what the eyes and the senses perceive than on your higher functions or imagination, ideas, plans, and abstract thoughts that you may have. Auxiliary's SI monologue is, to achieve social cohesion, I will employ the most reliable and socially accepted method of accomplishing things. However, NE, or tertiary extroverted intuition, comes as a contrast to give the ESFJs a vision of possibilities. However, this is not a function with the same weight as it first do, and it is what makes the ESFJs not follow through on these ideas, plans, and curiosities that they have. It is what makes these types seem superficial or even false, for always trying to follow a possibility which does not have much basis in their past, as would be the case with the auxiliary function SI. The monologue for this function will be, I will consider which possibilities will best help me achieve the social cohesion I so much desire. In this regard, the inferior function or shadow function of the ESFJs will be introverted thinking, or TI, which presents itself as an overly critical view of others by trying to seek solid and concrete truths about other people, which confirm what the ESFJs are thinking. In other words, projecting onto other people what is nothing more than their own. Be it an opinion, a flaw, a defect, everything is externalized in the other person, and it is difficult for the ESFJ to accept it as their own. After all, by immersing themselves so much in others, by trying so hard to appear as something they are not, the ESFJ ends up, so to speak, losing themselves in the character, without knowing who they really are. To developing TI inferior monologue would be, how can I use this objective observation I have of other people to my advantage? And to overcome these, ESFJs should appreciate the value of solitary activities, routines, and methodologies rather than trying to achieve things that seem good at the time. To develop this, they should spend more time with other types who use introverted sensing as their dominant function, such as ISFJs and ISTJs. Now, the types that get along the best with ESFJs tend to be more sensory types, as they see the world in a similar way, but also INFPs and even ISFPs, as they mutually value cohesion, peace, and harmony above everything else. Compared to other types, the ENFJs, for example, are much more genuine and less critical or envious than the ESFJs. The ESFPs are less organized. The ESTJs are much more focused on effort and work instead of relationships and people. The ISFJs are much more focused on being perfect housewives who never have time for themselves. Now in fiction, you can find ESFJs as the representation of any preppy girl who tries to appear perfect and normal in teen series, such as Taylor Swift, SpongeBob, Cassie from Euphoria, Uraraka from Boku no Hero, Ariana Grande, Sakura Haruno, Rock Lee from Naruto, that bastard from Steven Universe, Papyrus from Undertale. But the best representations of this type in real life are any kind of Karen, like Guinevere Beck from You or Skylar Wright from Breaking Bad. Absolutely insufferable.